Nobody has to worry because secret layers are going to carry the day. Secret layer products are very scary. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for being here on the channel with me. And thank you again to everyone, because we are almost there. Just want to show that appreciation. Thanks again, everyone who's making this happen. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Why is it scary? Let me show you something. Let me show you an image that'll start to explain everything. Here we have the Midnight Reaper, right? That's a 3/2 creature that is a zombie knight, but you can tell by that image, the image on the screen, that it's not really the Midnight Reaper, is it? That's a common enough card with a little bit of fun to it, but what we're really seeing there is an image of Death Dealer. Now imagine you have a fan, somebody who's always loved the artwork, the stories, the things that Frank did, and now you go and produce a card like that, and you go out there and you give us Death Dealer. Sure, it's a Midnight Reaper, but that artwork is not. That artwork is something entirely different, and that pulls on a heartstring. It gets the ball rolling in your subconscious to say, oh, that is amazing, and it makes you want to have it. It makes me want to have it so bad that I actually went to the Secret Lair homepage, and you guys know I'm not a big fan of Secret Lairs. I own two. One for my son, right here in the backdrop, which is the Walking Dead one he wanted. And I have a Saturday morning cartoon because Dungeons and Dragons, big 80s kid, 70s kid, that's how it is. And that's how things can go when it starts getting to where you're going. So when you take a look at the next image here, oh, there we go. Hero's Downfall. We're talking some serious D&D action here. It gets your mind just blowing because it brings back the memories of a childhood. That time when you remember how awesome everything was, how simplistic, how much fun, and the way your imagination let go to explore the worlds that you created with your friends to say, it's pretty amazing. I've got to go there. I've got to do it. This is the heartstring that Wizards of the Coast keeps pulling on. And don't forget, the prices for these cards are not what you think, right? They're not really exactly cheap. You're talking 5, 6, 7 cards. You're talking $30, $40, $50, $100. And the secret layers have been increasing. They're getting faster and faster. And I have found myself more than once looking now at some of these cards, like the Transformer version, really got me close to buying it. I couldn't help it. It's Optimus Prime. It's Megatron. It's Starscream. It's all the greatest characters you remember. Soundwave. Come on. Ravage. These are those images that harken back to an earlier time. And Wizards of the Coast knows it. They know it. And they own the IPs for a lot of this stuff. And they're coming for your wallet, man. Okay? They're coming for it. And if not, if they don't own the IP, they're renting the IP to do this. So even though a sealed box product may not be doing well, and maybe Dungeons and Dragons didn't sell as well as they wanted it to, secret layers are actually growing in sales volume. Imagine you have a secret layer that's around $50, just for an example, $50, and they're made to order. So you spend, 70,000 people buy it. That's like what? Let's pull out a calculator really quickly here. Let's pretend we're being super scientific. We take $50. I'm not even gonna go with all the other stuff, and we times that by 70,000. That seems pretty scary, right? 70,000 bucks. It's like $3.5 million. Seems like a lot of money, doesn't it? Yeah. That's a lot of money. And you're doing that time and time and time again. Over and over. And like many things, you don't realize it because you're only buying one. But somebody else is buying one, somebody else is buying one, and then they bring back more images and more things that you remember. You want to get those too. And before you know it, you've really bought into it. And you're really humming along. And although I haven't purchased any yet, that Death Dealer one really got me, and the D&D one did get me. Now, I personally did not buy it. I had a friend buy it for me. You guys know I won't buy that sort of product, but it didn't stop me from saying to my friend, poke, poke, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Please pick up that product for me. That's what I'd really like for Christmas. And there it appeared. So somebody still purchased it. It still ended up in my hands. And with Transformers, how long until we get an Evil Dead, an Army of Darkness? That IP is not too expensive. And there's enough of a fan base across multiple platforms that it'll probably sell pretty well. How long until we see other IPs of that era coming back from the 80s and 90s? How about Thundercats? How about Silverhawks? Robotech? Kamigawa style? You don't know where they can take this stuff, but a lot of these IP properties, they're up for bids. You're allowed to rent them out temporarily, and it's something that Universes Beyond will continue to explore. So when I say that it's there to carry the day, and it's going to make them money, it really is going to make them some cash. It's going to continue to fuel the machine while they reset in other areas of the game, because it doesn't take a lot to put this product together. You got the packaging, standardized now. Cards inside may differ a little bit, so there's a little bit of configuration inside the box, depending on how many cards you're getting per secret layer, per super drop, per super duper drop. But how long until they see that they make so much money this way that they do break it down, like we talked about in Monday's video, into a single card, some special amazing version. Like if I had seen this as an original art and I saw Faxamunder and I said, look at that amazing card, how could I not own that already? Why do I not have a card like that? Well, when you see that in yourself and you say, I've got to get it, that's where people start to spend their money and say, maybe it's worth buying just that one card because it's only like 20 bucks. It's not a lot of money. But really all they've done, all Wizards has done, is diversified out. They've broken it down into another level of greed. You're getting that one card now for 20 bucks. Where these cards in singles, if I wanted to buy Faxamunder, it's like $8 at face-to-face. $9 at like 401 games. But if they break it down and say, oh, you know what? These are now the new super singles. You can get this special itemized, whatever, artwork. And here you go. It's a $20 card and $10 shipping and fees and handling, processing. It's now $30 for one card. Chances are they still sold 70,000 though. So again, they're going to save on packaging, weight. It gets kind of scary, guys, to see where they could take this. But as long as you have your eyes open, you become choosy and pick up only those IPs that really matter to you, you're probably going to be fine. But just understand you are feeding the machine. And that machine is hungry for our dollars right now. But I can see where they're branching out in so many directions. As Chris Cox admitted himself, they are branching out into directions to continue to generate revenue. They're coming for your wallet, and they're going to find different ways of getting in. And that means slowly itemizing things out smaller and smaller, but charging slightly less, but still nominal fees on top of everything to generate that money and keep it flowing. It's a very fascinating time. And I think as long as you're aware of it and you know what you're after, it's good. Like that Death Dealer card, I'm not going to buy the secret layer. I stopped myself. I'm like, nope. But I will look for that single. Heroes Downfall there you saw, the D&D one. I own the secret layer. I never opened it, of course. But I bought 4 of them for like $10. It was $2.50 a card from 401 games. They're out of stock now, but when they had it in, it wasn't very expensive. So a lot of these secret layer cards don't really draw in massive values on the secondary market. So as long as you're willing to wait, it's not really going to matter unless you want a sealed version of it just to collect for yourself. But if you're a person who just wants individual cards because they remind you of that time, I say go after it. I can't help myself. I'll go in the singles market. I'll support my LGS that way, but I can't buy from that website. I can't feed the machine that way. I got to find a backdoor way in to get some of these iconic images into my collection in a way that I can personally handle and what I can accept. And I hope you guys do the same. So thanks a lot for being here in the video today. Hope you had a great time. I do believe secret layers are going to go further. They're going to probe that one a lot further now they see how well it's doing. I've checked in with a lot of my LGSs, guys. They order the maximum every time, and they do sell. The singles do sell for a lot of these things, so be aware of it, okay? You can find these things in your LGS without having to buy them directly from the store when you can support your LGS by getting the singles there. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for hanging with the Mox, man. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for another epic video day. I'll see you then. And of course, this is that moment in time, that special period we say thanks again to all the fantastic patrons on my channel who support everything I do here. You guys are epic. You know it's true. Thanks again, everyone. Death Dealer almost broke me. I almost bought it. Welcome back to the end. to the end of endings. It's kind of crazy. By the way, 60 subscribers. Then, I'm not to quite the personal goal, because the personal goal keeps changing, by the way. For those who've been following that, it actually changes. Because, anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll keep changing a little bit until I get ahead of something. When I get ahead of something, I'm good. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer. So, here we go, guys. That Reaper, when I saw it, it like melted my face. When you see like the other card where it's like this with the axe and stuff, you're like, oh, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This just breaks you down. Yeah, it's so hard to resist stuff like this. And you also say to yourself, you know, I haven't treated myself in a while. I haven't really bought anything. I've been worried about everyone else. Everyone in my family. I'm worried about tax time. Am I going to have to pay money to the government? I'm worried about everything. Do I deserve a treat? That's what you start getting to, right? I've worked really hard. Do I deserve that treat? Should I buy? That's where your mind goes sometimes, right? In that moment of weakness, you have to stay strong. And that's what I had to do. I got to stay strong and say no. I'll wait for the single to come out, and I will get the singles. I'll probably get a play set, honestly. I don't think it'll be that expensive of a card. But wow, seeing that artwork on there just clinches it for me, man. Same as if they do a Dragonlance one, I'm going to break down. I'll tell you right now. If Dragonlance comes out, if they do Huma, like you know, Legend of Huma from Dragonlance, I will break down. It's the very first fantasy novel I ever read. I remember grade 6 reading that book. And I read it so many times. I wore out the spine, the thing, the pages were falling out. By the time I got to high school, I read that thing so many times. If that comes out, I will break down. There'll be nothing I can do about it. I'm calling in favors and friends are getting me copies because that's just the way it's going to be. Wizards knows what they're doing. Very tactful, and they make a heap of cash from this stuff. Millions of dollars every secret layer. They do 70 a year. That's 210 to 240 million minus expenses and shipping costs and paying people. That's still a lot of bank for your buck. Remember that, guys. So, thanks for being here at the end. Thanks for hanging out with the Mox Man. We're getting closer to the holidays too, guys. Maybe something special on Friday night. We'll see how it goes with the family. But I hope I'll see you guys there. Have a great one. No, don't have a great one. Have an awesome one. Because we've made it through a lot in our lives, and you guys are still here with me. Thanks again.